Hey guys, welcome to Basket Case Builds. Today we've got an 038 Stihl, with a prehistoric machine, 80s machine, roughly it would have been built. Has an issue with spark. These run a points breaker system with a condenser that's under the flywheel. Not as reliable as today's solid state stuff, so we're going to do a mod today. I got on the humble eBay, purchased myself a solid state module. It's from Thailand, $30 to $40, I can't remember exactly. So what we're going to do is, there's two ways you can do this. This is how it works. So basically you cut the wire running from your condenser and point system, cut it off there and splice in this module. That's your module there. That's the wiring, and that's your twist lock terminal. So the two ways you can go about doing it is you can pop the flywheel off, this fella here. You can take all the innards out, as in the points and the condenser, then cut your wire, make it neat, or you can not even bother taking the flywheel off and just cut the wiring in behind here and wire it up without that being in the system, so it just looks like that. I mean, there's no harm in leaving it behind, I guess, but after a while, I guess it could fall to pieces, but yeah, who knows. But we're going to take the flywheel off, as I seem to always do, the hard way. All right, here's the description that was on the eBay ad. You can pause it and read it, but basically saying that it works good for 2 or 3 leg magneto coils, up to 2 magnets on the flywheel. You cannot replace this solid state with a magneto type ignition, so if it's got a CDI unit, this will not work in replacement of it. It's basically all you're doing is changing a point system to a solid state. Put a rope in to lock our piston up so I can get the flywheel undone, but I want to make sure the piston is pretty much close to top dead center, just before top dead center. I don't want the exhaust port open because this can slip through into the exhaust port and it can get ugly. You'll chop it off or jam it up, causing utmost pain. There we go. Top dead center, and I'm up against the rope. 13mm spanner for this Stihl anyway. Okay. Wind that back down a smidgen. Remove all our rope. I don't have a puller for this, so I'm just going to screw this down flush so it doesn't spread any of the crankshaft material when I give it a tap. Alright, as I said, I don't have a puller, so I've got the nut loose as I showed you. Yep, so I'll screw it back down. Tilt up hard against it and make it off 1/4 of a turn. Brass drift. Slight, there we go, tap. Magnets are in the way. There we go. Said before, I'm pretty sure if you have a 3 magnet, that's a 2 magnet, this system won't work. I did read up somewhere on that. Okay, so that is our condenser and points that I'm going to disassemble and pull out. You can probably leave them in here, it doesn't really matter. That these run off of this eccentric cam in here. You got that's looks like it's off center. You have it, this side is wider than this side, so that's where your points open up over there. I don't even have it. This is a special tool for setting the points because you can't obviously get a feeler gauge in when you're trying to be at top dead center. So condenser points, we'll pull them out and discard. And I'm probably not gonna, I'll just snip the wires off down the bottom. Maybe, see how we go. But first of all, I'll get rid of this coil. Alright, so we have that goes to our kill switch. This one's going to our coil. That's where we need to snip and join our wires. Alright, let's pull out this breakers and the condenser. I just had a thought. This might be to our advantage. If you look here, it's showing that the kill switch, is there, and your coil is there, so they're spliced together, and then it's going to go into that new solid state module. So what I'm going to do, I think, is just leave this wire, because it is, bring it a bit closer, it comes back through, and that's both one of those wires there goes to the coil, one goes to the kill switch, exactly the same. That's what that is. And I'm pretty sure, well, I'm absolutely sure, a set of points, that wire can live in there. I'm sure this module can live in there too. So thinking I might bolt the module in there. Main thing is you don't want it to come loose, obviously. Then you just terminate that to that with its quick connector. It's a thought, dangerous thought maybe. Everything else has, like the single bolt hole module here, condenser, has that little stub that sits in that hole there. That even if it gets loose, it can't come down and hit the flywheel. I'm tempted. Probably not. Anyway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these two wires here. And drag that through. These two wires now will be all joined together as such. So the flywheel can go back on. I want our keyway up. Very good. Both our wires from the coil and the kill switch will mount together. I'm going to use that goes on like that. Mount it there. Just cut it off. I'll join all those three together. Sounds good in theory, doesn't it? Let's bolt this coil back in. I'll set the air gap first before I screw the module under that this leg bolt, just to the fact that I don't want to have to try and juggle the module and a brass feeler gauge. Sure I'm not going to squash any wires. Alright. We've worked out what we're going to do with the wiring. Let's put this nut back on and torque up this flywheel. I'll have to use the old rope trick again. Work out where top dead center is. We're going to be tightening that way, so and the magnets are biting in. Alright. Alright, I'm going to tighten our nut. There we go. Yeah. Okay, that's firm. grab a torque wrench and we'll go back. Alright, book says 33 Newton meters. There we go. String out. Let's set our air gap. Nice to know if this thing runs, since it's had everything else done to it, but this. Alright. Tenth hour, and luckily enough my feeler gauge at 10th hour, one of them is a brass one, so it makes life a little easier. Just slide it in around the leg. Bring the magnets around. There we are. The magnets help with this adjustment due to the fact that it pulls the legs onto the flywheel and keeps a nice tight 10th hour gap. Nip these up lightly. I had a fail and lost some footage, so I'm just showing you the final product. So basically you have, obviously here, that's that leg, 9 Newton meters, you tighten those both down to. I set my gap, my air gap first with my magnets around there, my brass feeler gauge, nipped them both up, extracted this one, put the module on, ran the wire around and terminated the other 2 wires, which is one coil wire and the kill switch wire. So there's 3 wires in there. I also didn't show putting the cover on. It's not hard. It's 3 screws, slides under the handle. When you're done, got 3 screws, you've got this step shoulder that fits up into here, and you've got the 2 Torx headed ones that fit down here and here. Promising. Oh, it's got fuel. Let's put the used to drawing air with the cover on. This could be awkward. I don't even know if you're in the shot, but anyway. Choke. I should have done a shot before it actually started, before it was fixed. There's no way it used to rev like that. That's a carburetor that hasn't even been tuned, it's just been set at factory specs of, I think it was a turn and a half out on high and low. Thanks for watching Basket Case Builds. The saw's running fine now, no dramas. Cut a fair bit of wood with it. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. See you next time.